Greetings in the name of Yahusha Mashiach, Melech of Yasharal, Cohen forever, according to the order of Melchizedek, the elect one who sits at the right hand of our Lord Yahuwah. All esteem and honor and glory unto Yahuwah Kodesh name. My name is MELEK Shelemoth. This is MELEK Shelomoth Trading, and I'm gonna do a trade recap here I did on ES futures. Today is the 14th of January 2025. It's 11:10 a.m. Eastern time, and this is off of a Apex PA account, right? So firstly, I'm gonna just point out that I have a checklist here, right? So I'm gonna go through the checklist and show the criteria I'm looking for in the trade and how I took the trade, right? So first, the strategy is called a 360 fire strategy. So higher time frame downtrend, so that gets a score of a 10, right? So that's why I have the trade and view chart here. This is a 4-hour chart. We have a higher time frame downtrend, right? Now from a Wyckoff theory perspective, let's see, right here we have this as well. Wyckoff theory, it's an automatic rally and also LPSY distribution, right? So we have this LPSY, lower point of supply, right? So we're in a distributive kind of structure here. First lower point of supply is here at 6107.50. Then we go down to 6068.25. Then we go down here to 59.59, and then today we're creating 59.18.50. This could also be one, but I just kind of incorporated this whole little structure here as this being the lowest point of supply. But you could put one here, but I just incorporate this whole move as this LPSY being the resistance or the lowest point of supply. So let's see here. Right, so now we're gonna have to go over to the Bookmap chart. So from this perspective, downtrend, higher time frame, right? We have that, and we also have the Wyckoff theory automatic rally, with this being the automatic rally right here, and then you're gonna get a move back down to this level, right? So downtrend, selling climax, automatic rally, creating a LPSY, and we're moving back down, right? So that's the thesis right there. So LPSY for the Wyckoff theory, higher time frame downtrend, right? So let's see here. All right, we're gonna bring this down. All right, so let's see here. Let's see if I could get some context from the beginning of the day. Right, so from 8:30 we started to move down. You see we're moving down, so it's a downtrend. And let's see, here is the open, right? Right, so from the open, dipped down, came down here, created this this low at around what is this here? It's not highlighted. It's right there though, around 58.92. Then we pushed back up. We created the IB high. The IB high is at 5909.75, right? So let's open this up a little bit. After we created that IB high, came down here and just started selling off back to create the IB low, right? Well, this is the 30-minute IB low, right? So I calculated from 9:30 to 10 a.m. Eastern time, right? So this was the overnight low. Overnight low was 58.74.50, right? So we came down here, created the IB low, right? That's around Camarilla R1 and yesterday's high, right? Also came back around the ETH open, right? We got this reversal here, came back up to Camarilla R3 and also floor pivot R1, right? That's Camarilla R3 right there. Let me just open this up a little more. Right, so right, and that's floor pivot R1. So we came back up to these levels here. This is also a 61% fib level from a trading view chart. I'll probably open that up and show you on another chart, right? So we came back up here almost to IB high, right? We peaked above floor pivot R1. My Wi-Fi got messed up here, so I had to do some troubleshooting again. I don't know what's wrong with my Wi-Fi. I gotta call this company and find out what's going on. And also these yellow lines is some latency lines. I don't know if that's a rhythmic problem or if it's my internet acting up a little bit. So anyway, came back down here almost to the IB low again, right? Had this reversal, and now within this reversal, this is where my trade is taking place, right? So 365 is basically a retest of within a downtrend, and we're gonna take basically the exhaustion after the retracement, right? So let's go over some of the criterias here, right? So we're coming back to Camarilla R3. I don't have that listed here, right? I have central pivot Camarilla S3, Camarilla S4, and floor pivot S1. But I guess I need to incorporate a Camarilla R3 into this as well, because the reason I didn't incorporate Camarilla R3 is because that's more in the Black Sun strategy, where it's pushing up to a higher resistance pivot level, and these are like for within a downtrend where you just come back to these support levels that turn into resistance, right? But if the trade is setting up a certain way where we're not coming back to a first upper deviation or second upper deviation with Camarilla R3, and we're only coming back to like a VWAP level, then that's more of a 365, right? Because it's a weak retracement. It's coming back to only to the VWAP. It's not going to an extreme in the upper deviations, right? So that's more in line with a 365 strategy. So right, it's coming back to Camarilla R3, so I just highlighted it and gave it a rating of 10 because I just don't have that right there, right? I have these other levels, but I gotta incorporate Camarilla R3 into it, right? So let's see here. Let me just show that on the chart as well. Right, so we see the trade entry is here at 58.94.75. Actually, no, 58.94.50. Right, this is Camarilla R3 right here. Let's just highlight that. And you can see there's heavy liquidity on the book at this level as well, right? So this is also the IB mid. So we're coming back here to the VWAP level. Let's see, where is it? Right, so this yellow line right here, that's anchored from the RTH open, that's VWAP. You see we come straight back up to VWAP here. Now how we get back to VWAP, that's part of some of the criteria I'm going to go over as well. So let's go back here to where the reversal took place, right? So the reversal starts here at the second lower deviation. You see I'm highlighting it. The box is saying -2 band. Right, so that yellow dash line right there, that's the -2 deviation. And let's open this up a little bit. Right, we have heavy liquidity here as support, and we start pushing back up. Right, now as we push back up, let's see what we have here on the checklist. Right, we're getting the trade at VWAP, so that's at 10. Right, you can see here, that's a checklist. That's one of the criteria, so we're going back to VWAP. That's a 10 right there. It's a LPSY. I already showed you that on the trading view chart. And these don't apply right here. We're looking for a low volume retracement. right? So as we start moving up here, we're looking at the volume here, right? So let me just show you this. The buying volume is always moving down, right? We get spikes, but moving down. This is one where the volume moved up, right? But mostly the volume is always moving down after a spike, right? So this is an instance of the volume moving up, and we have the price moving up as well, right? But most of the time, buying volume is moving down, right? So from here, right, you see from here, like moving up there, that's like a divergence, right? So it's basically, that's what I'm looking for within what I call like a low volume retracement, right? So the general volume in overall, right, if you look at it from when let's see here, right, so when we put everything into perspective in the chart, you can see that this is high volume here. All of this is high volume. Let me just point that out. Alright, so we have volumes up to this level here mostly. While we're retracing, we only get this high volume, and everything else drops down to this level. And then we drop down even further. Right? Now as we get into this distributive structure, we get the spike. Right? So these are the high volume spikes I'll be looking for while we're looking for exhaustion. Right? So going back over here, we have the low volume retracement. I gave that a 8, right? Because it's not like it's extremely low, but it's fallen off, right? Now, after that, we look for low volume buying exhaustion, right? So what we have here is the volume falling off while we're doing these big buys right here into VWAP, right? So low volume buying exhaustion, right? So we have the exhaustion taking place while there's low volume, right? Now let's see what else we have here. And then we have high volume buying exhaustion as well. So now these are considered the high volume. So we're getting spikes and dips, right? We have another spike here as a buying exhaustion, right? And this, let me just go into this a little more. Let me take this off. Right, so now we have the low volume, we have these buying spikes, right? So we have buying, high volume buying exhaustion with the low volume as well, all in the distributive structure right here, right? And from a Wyckoff theory perspective, we're looking for, let's see here, we're looking for preliminary supply. That's the first pullback. Then we get the buying climax, right? You get the secondary test. Then you get somewhat of an upthrust right here, although it's supposed to push above this buying climax. And then you start getting the breakdown, right? So it's like a little mini distribution structure. It's just how I, from a Wyckoff theory perspective, reading these bubbles and this order flow, is good to have like a context in how you're reading this, right? And the Wyckoff distribution theory gives you a good context in how to read this. Preliminary supply, you get the first pullback. Let's say you could even call this here the buying climax, because you get the high volume on this bubble right here. You get a small pullback, you get the upthrust, then you get a pullback, lower point of supply right there, and you start selling off, right? So my entry is after this upthrust right here, right? Pullback. As you can see, we get, this is the best bid right here. You see it's saying best ask when I highlight it. So the trade, even though it's getting aggressive, is not hitting the best ask anymore. All of these here, you start seeing it's missing the best ask, right? And what's starting to happen is it's starting to hit the best bid, right? You see that green line right there? They're starting to hit the best bid, moving down, hitting the best bid. All on top of price action. You see price action is not hitting the red right there, which is the best ask. It's hitting the best bid, that green line underneath price action. Let me just open it up a little bit so you can see what I'm saying. Right, so you can see this is the best ask or the best offer, and price is hitting that. Some of them are hitting the red right here, right? This one tried to push up a little bit. The best offer moved up, it didn't move up. Best bid hitting the best bid, coming down, right? So that's another thing I look for in like my minutia of like order flow. So that best bid, best offer is a good way to gauge on a minute level who's actually winning or taking charge of the order flow, right? So let's see here. Right, so we have this distribution structure. My trade entry is at 58.9450. Let's see, low volume retracement, we got through that. Buying exhaustion, low and high volume, we got through that. So orders stacking on the ask, right? So let's go over here. So what we have here is these orders stacking on the ask here, right? We have that as resistance. Some of them are pulling though, but so it's not perfect. It's not a perfect lineup, right? But we have passive orders as well, absorbing price, right? As we move up, passive orders are here to absorb the buyers, right? They're pulling a little bit, but some of them are executing as well, right? So we have resistance via the passive orders. You see they moved away from the passive order and the offer here, and then pulled back, came back up into it, and we have passive orders on the ask, right? So going back over here, passive orders, you could give that a 10, right? So orders stacking on the ask as resistance, we could give that a 10 as well. Orders pulling off the bid, creating a vacuum. So let's go back over here. Let's see if orders are pulling off the bid. So this is the uptrust. We got this exhaustion right here, right? We have this guy right here, he pulls. So that's orders pulling off the bid, right? These guys right here, let's see if they're interacting. They're pulling. Orders pulling, right? Until we finally get to this one right here and this one right here. So these guys start kind of transacting right here. They're pulling most of it, but most of it was pulled before price action got to it, right? And I think I went too far right there. No, yeah, I was in, let's see, yeah. My trade got down to 58. I believe it's 88 or something like that. But anyway, let me go back over to the big screen. Let's see here. Orders pull off the bid, so we got that, right? Increasing orders on the ask. Let's go back over here. We don't have much of that. Right, in the breakdown here, we don't have these orders stepping down too much. These guys stopped around this level, and that was it basically. So we don't have orders pressing on the ask, right? So go back over here to the big screen. Orders, increasing orders on the ask, right? So uncheck that. No, this is increasing orders on the ask as price action approaches retracement. Right, so that's why I had it labeled before. So this is what I was referring to right here, right? So it's increasing on the ask as we approach the retracement level of Camarilla R3, right? So they're right there, right? So that's good. Now we're going over to the market pulse, right? So VPA anchor sell spikes. So we don't have sell spikes, we actually have buy spikes, right? So these kind of act in the same kind of way, right? Because if we have buying spikes and we don't have follow through, so it's absorption, right? This green rectangle right there, or square, that's like absorption. So you're getting the absorption spikes right here, right? It was let's see, 138 absorbed. We got a retracement from that, but there was no follow through, right? So this is suggesting that it's anchoring or supporting price. So if this spikes up like this and we don't get follow through to the upside, let me just use the arrows, right? So we have the absorption spike, we have volume, we don't get follow through, all we get is buying exhaustion right here at this level, and VWAP as well, that yellow line right there, right? So right, that's not really listed as a buying spike, but I just listed it as a selling spike as well, because that's what incurred from price action, right? So I have to adjust some of these criteria to specify this could also be buying spikes that will cause exhaustion here as well, right? So going down here, we have VPA dominant sellers. So this right here is the VPA dominance on the buy side, right? So while the distribution is taking place, or the buying exhaustion is taking place, this green line I'm highlighting here is VPA dominance. It's on the buy side, right? And then eventually it loses steam and it switches over to this purple level here, which is the sell side dominance as we start breaking down. So now we have VPA dominance, that's a 10, because we're switching over to the sell side, right? As you see, it's moving down, right? So VP attack, seller dominance, right? So this is this right here. Now this light kind of purplish line right here, and this one is the same thing, but they just show you, like, because there's buyers and sellers for every trade, right? So you're gonna get spikes on both sides, but this one starts to wane off here, so the buying pressure is coming down. This one is moving down, right, which is, it's increasing, and it retraces as well. They move into kind of like the mean, and this one falls off. No, actually this blue one here, sorry, right? So this blue one here starts falling off, and this one here starts pushing down further, right? So it's basically you're getting like you're getting a spike here, you're getting some seller dominance as well, as price action is confirming that, right? So I gave that, I didn't really highlight that because, let's see, VP attack, seller dominance, buying near the mean, right? So this one here, the mean is this this level right here, and this buying dominance is coming down to the mean, right? The seller dominance is moving away from the mean. So I could actually give that, a 9, right? So the order stacking sell spikes, right? So this is this right here, right? So you're getting the sell spikes on this. So that means that orders on the offer are stacking on the offer against price, or putting resistance on price. So we're getting those sell spikes here and here, right? So that's orders on the ask pushing down. So we got a 9 for that, right? And ice weight sellers. So there is really no iceberg sellers right there, right? We have that right there, but that's not highlighted as much because it's only 52 contracts. So I kind of more highlight these bigger icebergs, like 125, 500. So within this trade, as we push down here, we did not get iceberg sellers, so I didn't highlight this one. And buy stop run, we didn't have a buy stop run, right? So let's go back here. Right, so sell entry 58.94.50, right? Buying exhaustion, distribution, retest. So let me just use the arrow. So breakdown out of the distribution, retest, VWAP, sells off, right? Initial stop is 2 points away. After 4 points is achieved by price action to the downside, my stop trails down to behind price action by 4 points, right? So as it starts moving down, the last trail was at this point. So we got down to the first lower deviation here. That's that dashed yellow line, right? Took my first profit right there. That's in line with Camaria R2, almost at the ETH pivot. Price pushed down a little more below this level, and the structure here is, this is how I exited the trade. So let me just go over, make this a little bigger. Right, so we have this structure right here, right? A little accumulation, breaks down from the accumulation, right? Retests, and it's looking like we're gonna push down further, right? So we got follow through to the downside. Then we have selling exhaustion, right? Smaller bubbles there. Buyers start to take it back up, right? Now as buyers start to take it back up, you gotta look at the structure, right? So this right here is a little let's see here, put this into perspective. Looking at this structure right here, right, as we broke down, once it breaks out of this structure, because this is one structure by itself, we broke down from that structure, right, retested this structure here, and seemingly getting follow through, right? But then the structure starts to change right here, right? And we start to get this breakout of this little structure right here. We push out of this this range, retest, and start pushing out of it, right? So at this point here, moving above, let's see here, we're moving above this first lower deviation here, right? After we broke down from it, moving above it. So it's best just to exit the trade. There's no need to hold on to it anymore. You could just exit. Well, for me, I exit the trade if it sets up again, and let's say we could move back up to VWAP or get some kind of retracement here where you could see some, right? Let's see here. And we only got back to this level here, so we didn't get like a big retracement, but it's good enough for me to exit this trade because it's looking like a reversal here, right? Now if I wanted to and get aggressive after I see, let's see if there's a distribution here, right? So this is somewhat of a distributive structure, but we're coming back down into first lower deviation, and you see it's looking like it's gonna just retest and go back up, right? So that's not really good enough of a setup for me to enter this level here, right? What I would have to wait for is the breakdown here, retest of first lower deviation, and I could have took this entry right here, right? Because now you see we're getting, that's absorption right there. So that red rectangle, you know what, I gotta make that a little more conspicuous. Let's see here, where is it? Alright, so that rectangle right there, that's absorption 62. We get that as at the retest of first lower deviation right here. Let me see. Come on, highlight. Right. right? So you get the exhaustion and we start moving down. So I guess I could take like a retest here because we're retesting, no follow through, back upside, back to the upside to create like the reversal, you know what I'm saying? So that would be another entry right there, but didn't take those entries. This was the PA, the profit on the day, basically same as yesterday. It's like around 55% of the daily goal I'm trying to achieve. And yeah, that's the trade for today. And let's see, looks like my internet is messed up again, man. All right, so let me call this company and try and sort out my internet, man, because I can't have my internet dropping on me while I'm in trades. That'll mess me up, you know what I'm saying? All right, y'all, so it's MELEK Shelemoth. That was the 360 fire strategy. Let's go back over here. Let's end it on the trade itself. Come on, go on. Right, so that's an overview of the trade. Let's see. Low volume retracement of VWAP. Got this trade back down to this level here, first lower deviation. See, we got some more of that there, but gotta find a space here or a place to re-enter, which would have been right here. Didn't re-enter, just took what I got for today, and that was it. Alright, y'all, so it's MELEK Shelemoth. Y'all trade safe and stay blessed.